So a few days ago, we talked about the Nintendo, how they've been doing new patents that was once again so incredibly vague that it could apply to pretty much anything. And it's all because, you know, they're still putting on their ass cream from what Power World did. And now we've had some people from Baldur's Gate 3 publishing come out and be like, nah, this ain't it. Now, whenever people from Larian talk, there's a bit of weight behind what they say. So I'm actually really glad that they're coming and saying this is kind of bullshit, right? Baldur's Gate 3 publishing lead says, patents like the controversial ones Nintendo has secured and then its patent will lose soon are too often used in bad faith. Anyone with a fucking brain, like one brain cell, can tell you that, yeah, this is actually really fucking dangerous. It's almost like copywriting walking or breathing. Everyone fucking does it.
The Nemesis system.
The Nemesis system. Yep. That's another one as well. So Nintendo was just granted 2 new patents in the US amid the Pokemon Company's lawsuit against the Power World Studio Pocket Pair. If you want to know more about this, we have a video on the channel. Go check it out. So, a move from one of Baldur's Gate 3's developers doesn't think was played with good intentions. Lario Studios' publishing director reveals as much in a new post online, and I don't know if he deleted it or if, like, just my Twitter's not fucking working, but there it is. Responding directly to a thread highlighting the new patents Nintendo bagged, one of which could genuinely reshape the creature collector genre and others, to be honest, entirely. And he says these types of patents are too often used in bad faith, a sentiment many share with replies saying by default they operate in bad faith. Look, Nintendo is fucking massive, right? Nintendo's, you know, I guess you'd say one of the big three, you know, but to have people from Larian come out and like speak ill of what they're doing, there's a bit of weight behind that. That packs a bit of punch because Larian's kind of gathered this reputation from being the one of the few pro-consumer developer studios out there. They get up on stage at Game Awards. They say, yeah, fuck this moves that all the industry are making. It's bad. They get up at GDC while everyone's too busy talking about screaming feminists, screaming at the sun. They're up on stage going, hey, we're all going to be out of a job within 5 to 10 years if we keep going down this route. And if I remember right, they actually copped a bit of shit from the people at GDC for saying that, but they're the only, well, a few of the only ones being dead honest. So I, for one, am just happy to see them talk about this and be like, Nintendo, this is fucking cooked, man. Because, again, this patent is so fucking vague and so broad, it could apply to damn near anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like I said in the article, it just pretty much affects the creature collecting system no matter what kind of game you're talking about. It just the idea that you can capture a creature, have it into a package, bringing it out into another like area game that they have and battle out. That's like, you can throw so many like Monster Rancher, the Digimon games, like a bunch of them. Like all of the games that even games that are like Final Fantasy style, but have a monster system that you throw your monsters into the
summoning systems falls under that
as well. My goodness, like
being in a line of sight starts a fight that can go beyond RPGs. That could be a stealth mission gone horribly wrong.
Right.
Yep. Any game that engages into like an RPG style fight, see them run right to it. Yep, that's a Nintendo patent. Oh my god, yeah. The connotations, precedence is disgusting.
I'm not I'm not a lawyer, nor do I, I advocate the fact that I have sound legal knowledge or advice, but I was under the understanding that if a mechanic has already been done in a product and a company like Nintendo goes and I believe there are some cases, if anybody in the chat knows of them or knows what I'm talking about, let me, please put it in there. But I was under the impression that if this mechanic had been done prior to a patent being filed, because if I wasn't mistaken, early on when Nintendo was teasing this lawsuit, there were people going like, hang on, there were games in the NES that did this prior to Nintendo, prior to Pocket Monsters on the Game Boy. I think somebody had said that Shin Megami Tensei actually had a mechanic very similar to this back in the NES.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And I was going to say way back in the day, but yep.
Yeah. So, if, God, who owns Shin Megami Tensei right now? Is it Atlas?
Probably, if I had to put money on it.
If I were Atlas, I'd go in and be like, hold the fucking phone, and go in and set some precedent, or, maybe somebody will help fund a legal fee for this. But yeah, I really think that they need to be careful, because imagine if this was applied in movies. Like, video games are a form of entertainment, and imagine if like J.J. Abrams tried to patent lens flare.
I think what you just said there, guy, brings two questions to mind comes to the patenting. Is it going to be, do they determine it, like, is it because nothing's going to be grandfathered in that they can set up this patent and moving forward, they can start hitting people with it, not affecting anything that's already established?
Yeah.
And the other question is like, is the patent system like a first to the post kind of matter,
Right.
where if they're going to be the first ones to create and sign and pay the money for it, then they own it? That's rough.
And then also too, why is this something that's exclusive to video games? Like, I understand it's software and maybe there's different rights on, you know, in how software is classified. Again, I am not a lawyer, so I don't know the ins and outs of this. But, you know, in the case of music and art, you can't say, oh, I'm going to patent the use of, you know, certain. I mean, yes, you can have beats and all, but you can't patent the use of certain techniques. There's sampling, there's fair use. Like today, I learned that like the opening line in the opening melody in Faint from Linkin Park was actually a violin string from, or like it was music from Rush of Love that they reversed and spliced. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But you know, if MGM didn't sue Linkin Park over that, over the sampling of that and the alteration of it, you know, I would love for some legal expert to come out and kind of dissect video games and why they're treated differently than music and television in a lot of ways. Like, you know, again, like, well, I understand they're boomers. That's why I hate video game, you know, when video games fall into court, because the people that are often litigating them don't understand the medium at all. But, you know, you have stuff like GTA 4 having to remove radio stations, or, you know, censorship after the fact, or removing content because, you know, it expired. Like, you know, again, like when I played the Ghostbusters, the game HD remaster, and they removed all the Pepsi ads, you know, but again, if you have like the original Ghostbusters movie, they're not going to remove the fucking Nestle Crunch bar because they no longer, you know, again, make it make sense. That's all I'm asking.